Imaging helps us find cold spots, literal cold spots. So this is a thermal imaging camera. So we're going to be looking for those cold spots. Obviously, you should be able to see me in that picture. I'm orange, red, and yellow. I'm the warmest thing inside the video. So everything around me is going to be somewhat blue or black. With that said, the blue and black spots are the cold areas. In the event they start moving on their own, that's what we're looking for. So again, that's really what we're after here. Because this is kind of like a single-handed device and you decided to bring your extra food, I'm going to hand this one off to you. So at times I'll kind of help you out with the extra hand, but we are going to start and stop this video in certain locations just so that we're not wasting the battery life, and the software for this thing is not super great with this camera. So we're going to start and stop as we kind of not lose any video.
Okay.
So you're going to hold that horizontal just like that. All right. And we're going to talk more about your devices as we kind of move along. But, let's see here. Spirit boxes. We're going to be using 2 different spirit boxes tonight. Spirit boxes are a way for us to communicate with the dead. You guys all said you watch the TV shows, so it's the white noise, right? And then they tell you what they think they heard. We're just doing that in real time. So with mine, they're set up a little bit different. The disembodied voices that they claim to get on television are a rarity. I might see 3 to 4 a year. So the way mine are set up, they're set up to be slowed down. I want the radio chatter to come through on this guy. So the song lyrics, the DJs, the commercials, when we hear it, if we can make it out, awesome. Let's figure out if it's actually relevant. It's a 50-50 shot that it might be relevant to the location of where we are, a person I'm talking about in history, or even something going on with one of us. So the cool thing about this one is it's going to record the entire session for you, so you will get it back. And it does not record any outside noise, so it's not going to record any of us. And even when I say let's turn that spirit box down, it's still recording at a nice even level. So we're not missing anything. We're just going to be able to listen to that portion tomorrow morning, and it's all one recording. So I love this device. It's probably my favorite. Why? Because when I go visit museums, I turn it on, throw it on mute, throw it in my pocket, and listen to it later. So that way I'm not disturbing anybody. Love this guy.
How much does that cost?
This one runs about $90.
Oh, that's cute.
Belinda, you're gonna go buy one?
Yeah, you're not.
You know what's funny? It's because I get so many questions about what equipment I use. All the links to all of the equipment that I have are all at the top of your data page, along with the podcast, my books. That way it's not like a sales pitch or whatever. It's just like, if you had questions about that stuff, it's at the top. Let's focus on the ghost hunting field work and let's get it done. But you have one button to worry about on yours. Yours is actually a wheel right here. It's at the very top, right where my finger was moving. So obviously when I'm talking to the group as a whole, we'll keep it down because it's recording anyway. When I say spirit box up, we'll get that thing up and running.
Put your other phone down though, Melinda. Belinda, are you gonna? Huh? Oh. Yeah.
Or in my bag.
Yeah, because you're going to be double-fisted. So we're going to put both spirit boxes in your hands. Alright, this one's going to give us a word from time to time in the center of the screen. So you've seen similar devices like this on TV. It's going to save all those words to a list with timestamps next to each of them. The nice thing about that is that it allows me, if it's relevant, to be able to go to the video or the timestamp on the recording over here, so that way I can see if anything matches up. I'm going to clear out last night. They had about 71 terms. That's about average. 80% of what comes out of this guy is absolute BS. It doesn't mean anything. So the other 5 to 20%, I will always give you the full list, but the ones that are relevant, I will put them in bold, give you the explanation, and the link of where I got my information. So it's not because I told you so, it's because Botanica told me to tell you.
Right.
Okay.
Again, I don't make anything up here.
Okay.
Everything here is legit. And you're getting a multifunction device.
Oh, Lord.
So that's the reason why you're only getting one.
Yeah.
So yours, we have to, you guys have seen the EMF detectors on TV, the blinky lights. So this is way more accurate. So the top number, the big number, anything above 2.5, we're going to kind of see what's going on with that, see if it's coming from something man-made. Our phones are going to make it go up, not by much, but again, we're looking for anything above 2.5. The bottom, in case Joyce finds something on her camera, we're going to be able to debunk if the temperature is legit, if it's coming from an air conditioner, if it's something blowing by. But the yellow probe is what measures that temperature. And last but not least, it actually has a REM pod or motion sensor built into it. So wait for it to reset. If anything gets close to the antenna I just pulled up, it will go off.
Okay.
Okay, so we don't use that at all times because at times when we're walking in between locations,
Right.
your motion's going to just keep making it go off.
Right.
So we'll talk more about that at the first step. Just leave the little flap open in the path.
Okay.
So that one goes to you. Alright, I do have like laser lights and all kinds of things that are when I have my full groups of 10. And luckily for you, my full spectrum lighting, the top light of it broke off and I'm waiting for the extra bracket to come in. So they don't know what overnight shipping means.
Okay.
So that snapped off the other night, so we had to go with just one last night because I like to have, it actually had 6 total. So there's 4 on the top and 2 on the bottom, and then the 4th piece broke off.
Oh.
So I'm like, we're going to go with just the 2 and see what happens.
Okay.
So luckily for you, it's a nice small group, and we're going to have a nice little private party the rest of the night. So
Cool.
kind of recap on what you're going to get back. First off, it's going to be the audio, Spirit Box recording on that end, full thermal imaging video on this end, and then the word list, and then whatever recordings that you have, I'm going to be writing down. So any kind of spikes you see out of your device,
You said 2.5?
2.5 and higher.
Okay.
Last night it spiked at 90.
Oh.
So the other little K2s, the ones you guys see on television, only go to 25, just so you kind of have that.
And it's the top number that has
The
to go
top
2.5,
number.
right?
And once we
bottom
get
number.
moving, I will actually probably shut off the temperature just so that we can put all the battery juice on that EMF and it'll move quicker.
Yeah.
We'll talk about more about that in the first location. So let's talk about this first stop. I told you guys to meet me at this red building. It's 251 East Bay Street. Well, at least I thought I did on the text message.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a hard time about that all night, just so you know.
Yeah.
Lisa.
Not me. Okay, Lisa.
So, this place used to be called Big John's Tavern. We're getting ready to rename it Big John's Tavern after what it used to be back in the 70s. It was named after a football player, 1947 New York Giants, John Kennedy. Everybody called him Big John, pretty big guy. He used to sit in the back of the bar, and he would tell the bartender if the cadets coming over from the Citadel, if they were old enough to drink or not. One night, 2 guys come in, they're not old enough to drink. He has the bartender throw them out. They leave pretty pissed off. They come back the next night, and they try to steal the cash register from the front. I don't know why we kept cash registers in the front of bars. Kind of stupid move, but whatever. The 70s. So they try to steal it. Big John sees what's going on. He starts beating the hell out of these guys, just pounding them into the floor. A couple of shots go off. John gets hit in the neck, and the bullet lands in the wall. John gets up. He goes back to the bar, tells the bartender to get him another beer, and get the guys on the floor an ambulance, who are not shot, by the way. So what's haunting the place is the bullet hole. It's allegedly still here. I say allegedly because they are renovating the place. I'll have to go back in and double check. People that sit in the front of the bar get a little queasy, nauseous, headaches. I bring the story up on purpose, which is another reason why we start here. If anybody here feels any of those symptoms, I need to know immediately so we can move us out of the area. That is literally the scariest part of this whole tour, is the fact that you might get a headache. So, again, it's paranormal activity. Fingers crossed nobody has that kind of effect. But let's not think about our own health. Joyce is like, yeah, this is getting weird. So, she's just giving me that side eye. I seen it.
I watch series the computer. Okay.
So, same building. Have you guys taken? Oh, you guys just got here today, so you haven't taken any tours yet. Have you?
No.
Okay. So every
Well,
tour-
Magnolia, but
Well, we all talk about the big earthquake. It was in 1886. It's a big earthquake for us because this is the East Coast. We're not supposed to have earthquakes. We had one, 7 point something on the Richter scale, because it wasn't invented yet. But this is allegedly where the first death occurred. The mantle you see in the middle of the building, the white piece, it also wraps around the front. A piece of it broke off, caught somebody in the back of the head, and apparently killed him. They say you can see his ghost in the middle of East Bay Street, which is this road right here, in the middle of the night. I say a lot of apparently and allegedly a lot with that story, just because I don't have any proof. It's just a great segue, so you guys aren't thinking about getting sick on the tour. Are you
Close
guys?
your mouth, Joyce.
Should be alright. He's got this. Alright, are you guys ready to go over the electric devices?
Yes.
Alright.
Yes.
First off, when I say where we at with the word list, you're going to hit the little scroll right here. I can help you out because you're double-fisted with devices, and I always want to see where we're at with things. So right now it does say northern. Yes, we're all from the north, but that's too much of a stretch for me. I need something a little bit more. If you said New York or Ohio, that would be a whole different story. But it does say Newark, so we're talking about a rejuvenation of Big John's. Alright, let's head down this way.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh my God, forbid.
wide open spaces, but the spaces I'm going to be taking you to, either A, are right next to something that has a lot of history where we're going to be able to get something, or 2 is going to be an open space that used to be something. This is one of those instances right next to it. This is the big red barn. This is kind of like the level 1. This one's very simple. We're not going to spend a lot of time here. This is normally, if I had like pretend, I'm literally bouncing from one person to the next, showing them more things about their device, and then we're moving on. Big red barn one. This is where we keep the horses for your carriage ones. You guys can call this small ponies.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You can't smell them. I'm on just as like to leave. So, with that said, the only history here is really simple. This is the same red barn where we held horses that delivered milk and eggs to the residents of Charleston. The reason why I bring up this story is because it helps us with spirit boxes. We do use a third, by the way. We're just not using it tonight because I got much more. So spirit boxes, this is not TV. This is not here. If they say no, somebody's here. So we're going to stay with the yes and no questions all night long. So if you can answer yes or no, we're going to skip it and try another way to rephrase it. We're going to keep it simple, and with answers you already know. If somebody's here, tell me the color the big red barn is. Okay. Obviously, we're going to be looking and listening for the color red. But this device to your right is going to be using song lyrics and DJs to convey those messages back to us. Let's say the word red's not in there. They might find something else that is specifically red, like fire truck, blood, heart. Those 3 examples are specifically red. They're not going to be any other color. Maybe a fire truck, but doubtful. But that's the kind of thing I'm looking for. What color is a big red barn? Fire truck.
Right.
Acceptable. We're also pretty close to Big John still. In the event you get a double digit from one and the word heart from another. So you get 40 in Art. Art Faircloth was jersey number 40 on Big John's team. Those 2 match. That wasn't a question we asked, so I need almost like a double clue so I can verify what they're trying to convey to us. In the event you don't get an answer to what color is the big red barn, we can open it up. Of course, we're not going to spend a ton of time here, so you probably won't even have that opportunity, but I usually tell people what's inside the barn. Now we have animals, horses, they're draft horses, they're delivered, milk, eggs. Those are all clue words and keywords that I mentioned in a little bit of history. Over there with 1947, New York and Giants. Obviously, New York will be related to you guys as well. You don't know that yet, so there's another phrase that matches it up. But with that being said, I'm always looking for clues. This is not going to be a full-blown conversation. You're kind of lucky tonight because you're holding 2 out of the 3 spirit boxes, but we also have audio on our devices. I'm holding audio right here, and Joyce has audio on her camera. If we're asking questions, it can go to any one of the 4 devices and give us the answer. And keep in mind, you're doing the work of 2 people tonight. Normally I split those up, each person gets 1 device. You're doing the work of 2 people, so if you asked, hey, what color is a big red barn, and then somebody turned around and said, I just heard the color red, it happens all the time. You never know it comes out. You got any readings at all on your in?
That's 0.0.
Okay, so it's pretty much flat.
Yeah.
So hold it still for me. We're going to turn off this temperature so it starts to move a little bit quicker for you. So now these numbers are going to be kind of all over the place.
Okay.
Because what it did was it took the battery juice away from the temperature and put it right into the EMF.
Okay.
So it's kind of sort of two purposes.
It's like 1, 0.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, 2.5.
2.5.
You don't need to hit anything on the front, on the face of that guy. But let's talk about your REM pod. Go ahead and pull up your antenna. See what? Nope, the other one. There you go. Pull it all the way up. Now flip the device around where I actually had the flap open for you. You're going to find 2 little white buttons back there. The one closest to the edge, click it into place. Perfect. Flip it back around where you can see it. Now whenever you turn it on initially, it's going to have an EMF field around the antenna that is disrupted because you just flipped it all over. There's a way to reset it. Along the right hand side, to the right. There's 4 buttons on one of those sides. I'm trying to remember which one it is. On the edge, right, on the bookend side. So the very bottom one, we'll reset it.
So what? Push it up?
In. There you go.
Oh.
So what happened just now is you had an EMF field that was like this, and when all those lights go off, it's pink. So when you hit the button, it straightened back up again.
Okay.
So what's going to happen now, watch your eyes. Anytime something gets close, it's going to go off. The closer it gets, it's going to make lots of noise.
Okay.
We can also use this as kind of a call and answer. If somebody's here, make this box with the metal stick go to purple.
Right.
See if we can actually get an answer out of it.
Is that you or?
No, that was you jostling it around. I seen your handshake a little bit.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. It just takes a little while to get used to. This is meant to be set up pretty still. So
Right.
I actually have the EMF really small because I don't want every bug that passes by it to make it go off.
Right.
So when I'm in an open space, I widen it up. So that way, if something does get anywhere, like within a foot or two of it, it's going to make it go off. But with us being walking around, you want to try to be as still as possible. When I say turn the spirit box down, that's also your cue to turn that down. So that way, because this is, very.
How do you turn it down?
You turn it off rather. So that would be the white button in the back, and then the antenna back in again.
Oh Lord.
Yep. Again, I'm putting you guys to work. Joyce is like, man, this stuff's weird and complicated. She just doesn't say much, does she?
Well, no, she does. This is the quietest I've ever heard her.
Oh, so giving her the color wheel was a good idea?
She's on investigative mode.
Good deal. So, with your device, and you can turn yours up a little bit on your red one, so that way you can kind of get the picture listening to it while I'm explaining her camera, and then we'll actually move on. All right. So with your camera, come over this way with me here. Let me show you something.
Oh, it just went up. Like,
So point your camera at this blank space of wall right here, and you should have a bleed out of color. It should turn mainly red. Keep it there for a second. Watch what happens to the wall. See how it went to blue? With my skin tone in there, it's going to be warm, right? So we want to try to keep somebody in view at all times. It's going to be difficult with only 4 of us out here, but once we get into the little bit more popular areas, it'll be fine. But with that said, it gives us that array of color. It helps me see when the blue and black spots are going to move on their own. When you're looking at a bled out space like that, I have no idea what's going on in there. When I put this guy in there, now I can see where the different colors are going to come into play, and if something's going to be even colder than my hand, another 5 to 7 degrees, it's going to turn black and start moving around. So again, very interesting tool. It doesn't catch something every single night. I probably catch something questionable about once, maybe twice a month. But again, if we don't have it at the ready in the most haunted locations, we're not going to see it, because by the time you get it ready and point and turn it on, it's already gone. So that's why we have it at the ready at all times.
Okay.
All right, ladies, what do you say we go learn some real history?
yeah.
Oh, can you take a look at your word list? Blue. That's interesting. To the next space. That's,
Tourism.
Look at that. All right.
This
Look.
was jumping up all over the place before. You're just going to be doing this while I walk though.
Yep, more than likely. I normally give that to women because y'all walk a little bit more gracefully than us.
Yeah, not me. Gave to the wrong person.
So while you're walking, but you're doing fine right now. I know you're
Okay,
walking
I'm like-
gently. You're like, I'm holding this crazy
Oh
thing.
my god, I don't want it to go off.
You'll be fine. You have to remember, I do this 6 minutes a week. If I didn't think you could handle it, I would take it back and give you something else.
Tourism.
Okay, you might have to.
Look at the word. Tourism.
Oh. Okay.
Now, also keep in mind that the light stages and the numbers that you're seeing work independently. You can have zeros.
When we were standing still, it was like almost up to what, 18?
That's stuff I need to know so I can
Yeah,
write it
well,
down.
you were talking to her.
It's okay, that's an interruption. Stuff is happening.
Oh,
Interactive, dear. You gotta keep it going. I'm not the typical tour guide. I want to be interrupted by good stuff.
okay, okay.
That's actually pretty high for that lock.
Yeah, I was just like, oh my god.
I normally get like maybe spikes of like maybe 5 or 6.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And there's no electrical anything underneath that ground. It's a sewer.
Oh,
So
okay. It was like 18 point something.
Alright. Now we're going to actually learn some history. Now that you guys have a better gist on your devices. So Joyce, come on in this way because that's the only way in and out, and cars do like to fly in here when they're trying to find a spot. I know it's not Saturday, but I don't like to take chances of creating ghosts. So
Oh, thank you.
go ahead and turn down or turn off your motion so that
Can I turn it over?
Yeah,
to do
you
it?
can. It's going to make noise. Yeah, just click that little white button again.
There we go.
There you go. Perfect.
Did
So
it
now I'm
turn
not
it
gonna-
down or leave it
Yeah,
up?
you can turn it, like just push it in for a few minutes while I give you
Okay.
the history, and then I'll set you guys free. And we're going to stay within the confines of the lot. Again, another beautiful site of Charleston. Sorry, your first day in, and I'm taking you guys to empty parking lots. Joyce is like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? Look at that look on her face. Like, you're kind of scaring me a little bit.
No,
You know?
that's all right. I
Alright.
shouldn't be scaring anybody. I'm just a very observant.
Oh,
So
Lord.
what is this place? This was actually the home mansion of Eliza and Charles Pinckney. We met on Pinckney Street. Pinckney is a very common name here in Charleston. So let me tell you who these people were. Because you're gonna, if you guys go anywhere else and do any kind of a tour, you're gonna probably see the Pinckney name somewhere. I can almost guarantee it. So Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles, and they had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Charleses, in case you guys lost track. The son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. Pretty big deal for us, but I hate politics, and you guys were on vacation. Nobody wants to talk about politics, including me. So, I also want you to keep in mind, I'm not going to be giving you questions like what color is George Washington's white horse, like what we did with the red barn over there. You're going to hopefully get the answers from your spirit box. Eliza married Charles at a young age. I'm not going to give you what the age was, but I will tell you that Charles was over double her age.
Wow.
So again, this is about finding what
She's
those numbers
15
were.
and he was 40.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
She was younger?
Probably younger.
We're
Maybe
not going
those
to guess.
years.
We're going to get the answers. So there's a lot going
Okay.
on here.
Maybe.
So, lost track. I didn't know.
Pickney and marriage and
Young
underage
marriage.
women
So
and
Eliza
older men
married
who
him
were pigs.
because her father over in England thought he was dying. He wanted to see all his kids one last time. She didn't want to go because she didn't believe he was dying. So instead, she got married out of love, not an arrangement, or a green card or citizenship, because none of those things existed. So this was the 1740s. This is colonial times. So she was right. Dad got better. He started sending her gifts from England. One of those gifts happened to be the plant indigo. Indigo makes blue dye, makes our blue jeans blue. That's why the word blue over there is almost like a preamp of what's going on. So hopefully we're going to get a lot more than just the color blue. This was a huge deal. She started experimenting with it right here to learn how it actually worked. Back here where we're standing, this is where the servant and slave quarters would have been. She had to pick their brains on how to keep it cultivated in our cold temperatures. The slaves that she had were from the Gullah culture, straight from Africa. These were farmers, agriculturists. They know how to keep a plant going. Once she figured it out, they moved it to Mount Pleasant. Now she has a cash crop. She can't sell it. She calls Dad. I need some contacts, international contacts. So she starts making all these sales overseas. We have a businesswoman in colonial times. This is huge, not only for just Charleston, but for the colonies that were about to occur. Rice plantations were going downhill at the same time, so she kind of swooped right in and took that over. Just to kind of give you an idea of how indigo just kind of evolved a little bit. Civil War, Northerners, you guys wore blue coats. Southerners wore gray coats. Gray coats was just less indigo than the blue coats. That's why they're gray. There's also had another herb in there called wormwood, so it kind of gives it that little fuzzy tone. But again, this was just an interesting time for her as far as the indigo goes. I mean, just touching the iceberg of the things that she's done for us, not to mention the Pinckney family. Most of them were politicians. But there's weird facts about Eliza that we can ask on your spirit boxes. So, obviously the age thing, which hopefully you guys won't just guess, which I don't think these specific numbers you won't be able to guess. The mansion's not here anymore. You can obviously ask what happened to it and then what tragedy that was. So, again, hopefully you get a year of what that actually was. The only clue I'm going to give you is that it was a tragedy. Ask anything you want to about
Fire.
Eliza's death. With Eliza's death, you can ask, hey Eliza, how old were you when you got married? Or when you got married? When you died, what did you die from? Where are you buried? And what U.S. president was a pallbearer at your funeral? So these are all answers that I've gotten in the past. As far as the children go, you already know one's name was Charles. There were a few more. As far as the kids, you want to tread lightly. There is a tragedy among there, and if we poke that bear too hard, all activity will stop. So if you've gotten any kind of EMF reading at all since we've been here, it'll pretty much go down to zero the rest of the night. I can almost guarantee it. And that's your.
This thing was supposed to be up
No, yeah, well, you're fine. You can,
Okay.
It's not hurting anything.
Oh, okay.
But as far as the numbers that you see on your screen, is, if anything, we start poking that bear, those numbers will go down to zero, and we won't get anything else.
Oh, wow.
I will say, like 90% of the time that I'm here, we actually get solid evidence until somebody pokes that bear, and then the rest of the night is pretty much shot. I don't know what kind of range she has over the rest of this territory, but it must be quite a bit.
Yeah.
Get the names of the kids, how many boys, how many girls, how many total. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
We just don't want to poke the bear. Eliza was the second wife named Eliza from Charles. So he was married to one Eliza, she died, then he married this Eliza.
Wow.
Yeah, they both go
make
by
it
their
difficult.
maiden name, which starts with the letter L. Both of them have L maiden names.
Oh, wow.
It's not the same name, but they both start with the letter L, ironically. So again, those are questions that you guys can ask. If you go rogue, just go after things that I can actually prove, because that's the whole point of this, is you guys want proof of the paranormal and life after death, which is why we're here. So again, with all of the locations we're going to go to, it's not like, hey, how was your marriage? Good. I can't prove that it was good or bad. So I need dates, names. That's why we kind of go after those kind of things. As far as the servants and slaves, I can't prove any of that either because there's no records.
Yeah, we can ask, like, how many years you were married?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
do stuff like that. Yep, absolutely. So again, if you go rogue, I mean, I'm going to be with you most of the time anyway. This is a time where I actually check you guys in on the website where you guys bought your tickets, kind of get you guys a little bit of a head start. You can definitely turn up your spirit box here. Definitely turn on your REM pod here. We are going to stay within the confines of the lot based on the amount of evidence that we're actually... Not that one, the red one.
Oh,
That's the little wheel at the top, remember? There you go. Yep, you're on. I can see it from here. Yeah, keep it audible to, the three of you.
okay.
And that way you guys can all kind of listen in on it.
Okay.
So go ahead and just kind of get a head start. We're looking for, basically you need to stop when those numbers start to get high. So that way you're really going to hopefully get some answers out of it. You're basically a camera person, Joyce, so you're just kind of keeping things on record and kind of keeping things in focus and keeping it all going. Hopefully we get some answers. So I would say go find a hotspot and give me just a minute so I can check you guys in, and I'll be with you in just a minute. Wherever the hotspot is. So I would just say roam. Roam and wander. What made you say fire automatically?
Tragedy.
Yeah, but it could have been
Tragedy is death, but tragedy is fire because then the house is not here anymore.
it could have also been a flood, could have been a hurricane took it out.
Fire is more devastating, I think,
Okay.
because there's always, when everything was made out of the type of wood that was flammable those days, and they kept using it for furniture anyway. So that's what I'm
Charleston's
thinking.
great for the recycling bit of things. There's all kinds of, during most of the great fires we've had, they moved around a lot of the wood to the other existing buildings to be able to fix it in reconstruction or things like that. So
Yeah.
a lot of it was
So when we
reused.
went to Magnolia today, there were actual pieces in that house that I have in my own from my husband's grandmother from that time, and I had pieces coordinating with the things that those people had. The Dasons? No. What's the name of the family that still owns it? Dyson? Datsun?
It's on the tip of my tongue. I'm not up there.
Yeah. So that family had things similar to my grandmother when she made her pilgrimage to this country in I want to say when she came in, she might have come in 24.
Okay. Drayton.
Drayton.
That definitely would have been a name back in colonial times.
Eliza, are you happy? Are you happy?
Right here.
Are you in love with your husband? Are you happy, Eliza? Everything's happy. Did you cook a lot? Did you entertain a lot? Did you have a lot of nice parties? Beautiful dances? Was your life happy, Eliza? Let me know if your life was happy. Send me a little sign. I hope you were happy, Eliza. It certainly is a big, beautiful spot to have a home.
that being slowed down,
Eliza,
sometimes
what is
it'll
your
pick up words
favorite
before and
color?
after what they're actually trying to convey. So what
That's
color is the big red barn?
beautiful.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. I don't need Rudolph the nosed reindeer. I just need red.
Eliza, what is your favorite color? Did you always have it
Yeah.
in a dress? And was it something that your husband noticed that you wore? Was it something like that? Dances, evenings, dinners, parties.
Let's wait till you find a bigger hotspot. 'Cause I'm just... So you also had the 3s and 5s pop up.
Still. Want me to be still? I'm trying.
Eliza, what was your favorite color and did you wear it in a dress?
What's funny is a lot of people ask that, even though I don't put it in like that whole prompted questions,
Oh, what was
and
your favorite color?
I can't prove it, but I do get the same answer every single time. So we'll see if it pops up. And it just
Eliza,
happened
what
just the
was
other
your
night.
favorite color and did you wear it in a dress?
That's at 20 what?
23.
Eliza, were you very happy? Were you happy, Eliza?
You didn't have any big numbers there to hear.
Where was I? We were walking over, then we changed. Back there.
Eliza, did you have a lot of beautiful dinner parties?
How many
And did you
children?
have... Good. I mean, that's like Googleable.
What's that?
That you can Google. Try to ask her if she had a lot of dinner parties.
I just
A
wanna
lot
know how
of
many
big...
children.
But you can Google that probably. I know, it's more fun if she tells you. Eliza, how many children did you have? We're all mothers here. We're just curious.
Be singing in a minute.
Eliza, we've asked a lot of questions. If you can answer any of them, that would be great. You know how to use these boxes. I'm here every night.
Is this normally like a hot spot here?
Depends. It goes from night to night. It changes every night.
I wonder if she ever gets tired of answering the same question.
And that's why I say you can go rogue. You know,
Yeah.
different.
That's why I was thinking of clothing, dresses, dances, her husband, her marriage. Was she a happy woman? What kind
Say
of...
something about being specific.
Oh, we have to be specific?
No, I thought I heard
Oh.
something. Not you, per se. I thought I
You
heard
thought I
one,
heard some... Okay.
I heard something woman. I just didn't catch what it was.
Eliza, I know that they're asking a lot of questions, but they definitely want to know because they're curious to know about you.
Eliza, any answers at all would be great. Or you can touch the black box with the metal stick. Make the color either go to blue or purple. Choose one.
Please.
Rebecca.
Rebecca. Is that her daughter's name?
No.
No. Who's Rebecca?
And the date before.
way.
Wherever you want to go.
See if you get up.
Wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
I think if there was a big house here, where would her kitchen have been? Or her living room? Or the ballroom? Where she entertained guests? That would have been interior in here. If it was all
So
this
the meeting
space.
room would have been on this side of the house, and then they would have had like a living room, reading room on this side.
Did she
Kitchen
do
was probably
embroidery?
exterior during that time.
Did she crewel? Did she embroider? Did she sew?
I'm sure she did most of those things.
Hmm? Eliza, just tell us, as I have 5 sewing machines at home. I'd like to know if you can sew, if you've sewed as well. Just answer one of our curious questions. They are not too intrusive.
It's just an odd, I guess, approach because most people want to go straight for the kill.
No, I want to know what she did in those days and how she spent her time. Women didn't work. She worked in her own way, but I mean, you know, it's different. Just different. So I'm going to ask different questions.
Yeah.
I'm curious about different parts of her life.
I know she was a big believer in education. Like there was some kind of theory she was involved with where children can be, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess influenced in the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much just taught, but influenced.
Mhm.
So like that was a big theory that she worked on with, I can't even remember who. Actually, one of my guests actually was telling me about it. She wrote her college paper on this whole theory. She knew Eliza's whole backstory, but she knew more about that. And I'm like, I've heard of that, I just didn't know more about it.
Oh.
And she was supposed to actually send me the paper so I can, you know, get her resources and kind of look into it further, but she never sent it to me.
Oh. Eliza, when you made your dinner parties, what was your favorite meal to serve the people that attended parties in your home and happy parties in your home? Was there dancing? Was there live music? Did you and your husband dance to a particular song? What was your song? Well, I know you probably had a particular song, but what was your song? How did you make those connections with your husband, just the two of you? You know? I'm hoping you were happy, Eliza. I'm hoping you were very happy. I'm hoping that you danced and sang. I hope you did. Was there dancing with an 18-piece orchestra? I hope you know that as a mother, I'm curious about your children. Just how many you had. Not anything more than that. I have 2 little girls that I adore. And one of them I miss very much. She's in France, studying. She's getting an education. So Eliza, if you can just answer some of these questions for this young gentleman, and for me, because I would like to know a little bit about him. Just a little.
Joyce was right. It was a fire that took the house down.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So it was the Great Fire of 1861. So what happened with this, every tour guide, if you guys are taking more tours later, we all talk about a specific fire because there's hundreds of them. This one started up by the Harris Teeter grocery store up the road, came down this way, took out half the house, and then went to the other side of the Peninsula coast and took it out all the way.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it was a pretty big fire. The only pictures we have of this mansion are after the fire, so we don't even know what it looked like before.
Oh, too bad.
What
I know.
caused the fire?
What's that?
What caused the fire?
They say
Probably
the homeless
the-
were just basically trying to stay warm.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So, again, very interesting. And it was about 70 years after Eliza's death.
Oh.
So she wasn't even around to see it, but we know. But again, the house was still within
What?
the family. It says mean.
Mean, M-E-A-N.
So we did hear two other terms, like I said. You guys heard the number one with me,
Yeah.
and then we also heard the word heat. So
Yeah.
there's your heat, is the fire.
Yeah.
So anything relating to, obviously, flames, I kind of get, all right, we have something.
Right.
The number one is relatable to the president that was the pallbearer at her funeral. It was Washington.
Oh my
So-
goodness.
Let me give you the other answers. It'll all start to tie together. So
Yeah.
Eliza was 70 years old when she died in 1793.
God bless.
From
That's-
I know for
Wow.
that time
For
period.
that
it's
time,
huge.
yeah.
God
Yeah.
bless.
From breast cancer.
What?
There was no such thing as breast cancer at the time. At least we didn't know what it
So
was.
how did they know that it
We're
was...
going based off her medical records.
Oh.
So
okay.
again, 9 out of 10 credible websites will tell you indeed it was breast cancer.
Okay.
She was in Philadelphia actually going up there for treatments of whatever they were doing for it at the time, and that's where she died, and that's also where she's buried. So again, if this kind of tells you why I don't go to actual cemeteries, you're not
Right.
going to hang out where you're buried. You're going to go to your beautiful mansion in Charleston.
Right.
I do go to cemeteries, especially if there's flames there, but I usually don't get much. I'll be honest with you, I don't get much at all.
Okay.
Because I do my own investigations. It's not just a tour. But yeah, that's all the pieces on her death. So 70, 1793, breast cancer, and George Washington. Going into her kids, there were 4 of them, 3 boys, 1 girl. So we already know about Charles because he signed the paper. And we have Thomas, who was in the Battle of Camden, part of the Revolutionary War. Got shattered. His leg got shattered from a musket ball. So he was on a cane the rest of his days. So again, we have the word hero as well, I thought we heard. But
Yeah,
again,
we did
no
hear
other
hero.
specific tie until I get something about Revolutionary, Battle of Camden, anything related to that specific date, which was August 16th. So pretty close to today's date. Today's the 29th. 1780. And then there was baby George, who didn't make it. That's the tragedy I told you not to poke the bear with.
Yeah.
We don't know if the baby was days or weeks old. The birth on the death certificate, it basically says the same month and year on the birth and death columns.
Oh.
There's no headstone, and there is no grave for this child. George was also named after Eliza's father. So Eliza's maiden name was Lucas, that you guys were asking about, which makes her father George Lucas. So it's kind of funny because well, the kids all ask me, so her dad invented Star Wars? I'm like, hang on, hold the phone, let me slow this down, get the right timelines for you guys. So that was the maiden name of obviously the one that planted the indigo, but the first wife, her maiden name was Lamb, like the animal
okay.
lamb. They had Lamb and Lucas. Back to the children, we have one daughter, Harriet. Harriet married in Horry, which is the Myrtle Beach area. Do you have something going on?
Yeah. Why is that all lit like that? What was there?
So that's a cement pad that's still there.
Right.
It's holding the heat from the daytime sun.
Wow.
Concrete would do
Okay,
that.
so
Yep.
yeah, so that's nothing.
At least you
Got
caught
all
it.
I
excited.
thought
That's a
it was,
good
no, it was
question.
like, oh, maybe it was
What
a
is that?
kitchen or something,
nope.
or her dressing room or something. Whatever.
Well, back here, we're
whatever.
actually standing right where her garden would have been. This is where her garden was, and then the slave herders
okay.
were actually back that way. So the mansion actually faced East Bay. It wasn't one of those skinny houses that I was telling you about earlier. It was
Right.
actually faced the front.
Oh, wow.
It was
Okay.
full frontal. Let's see. Daughter Harriet married in Horry, which is Myrtle Beach. Wouldn't have been a 2.5-hour car ride to go visit her daughter. Lots of letter writing. So I wait for things that actually have things like letter, ink, paper, and then publish shows up here a lot too, because they did publish all those letters
Oh, okay.
into one volume called the Letter Book of Eliza Lucas. So again, a lot of those letters dealt with what transpired between her and her daughter. Let's see. She was 22 when she got married, and Charles was 45. So
What I
15
figured.
and 40 was wrong.
Wow.
Yeah, but young.
So,
She was,
yeah.
but she was over, like,
Definitely would have been
An age
considered an
of,
old maid by our American standards, even
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah.
So
Hello?
that's what it
Hello?
says. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm gonna call that part of the 80%. So that's probably one of those. Again, that app is
Hello.
meant to scare people. It's meant to be a game and a hoax. So the game we're playing is, or the Ghost giving us the words, or is it coming from the app? So when it comes up
Right.
with specific things,
Yeah.
you know, like Charles, December, which was Eliza's birthday, those kind of things. Oh, we have disease. So until I hear cancer around the same time frame on the recording, I'll discount it as nothing there. But I still
Right.
give you the clues. What else? What else did we kind of go into? Oh, the favorite color that pops up all the time? Purple.
Oh, you love purple.
So, and I don't tell people what I normally hear, so that way you can actually go back and check the other tour dates to see when that was actually asked.
Right.
Because I don't want to put an image in your
Yeah,
head.
purple's my color.
So I did do one little subliminal message, like, I did tell you we're not going to do questions like what color is George Washington's white horse. And I
Right.
do that on purpose to see how quickly people are going to come up with Washington.
Right.
But you guys all passed with a fail, so good job.
Oh.
Sorry, wordsmith. I'm going to play little
Okay.
tricks. That's the only one, I
All right,
promise. But
Okay.
again,
We were
purple. If I
drinking,
tell
so
you,
there
like,
you go.
hey, if it's going to go, let's go to purple, then
Yeah, I
you guys are
wanna
going
know
to
what
think
her-
you've heard the word purple.
Right.
So
Oh, okay.
purple.
Yeah.
I think that covers all of the questions that
I was
actually
always
occurred
asking
here.
her about her kids, and I said, answer some of these things when mothers were concerned and were curious, but that's it. Just tell us how many kids.
Yeah.
But go on. Tell me if you sewed. Tell me if you crewed. Tell me if you embroidered. Tell me what you did to pass the time. What was it like for you, to be a woman
Look
in
at
these
her all
times?
into it.
And I stopped to listen
Just-
to her questioning because
Yeah.
she took a different approach. Most people go in for the kill of, did you have an unhappy marriage? What
Oh.
happened to the
No,
baby?
I always
Oh.
say,
Yeah.
what were you happy?
Right.
Were you and your husband happy? Did you dance? Did you have a special dance? When you had
Horses.
these
Horses again?
beautiful
No, lawsuit.
Oh.
what?
Lawsuit.
Oh, jeez.
Hmm.
But I said, do you have a favorite song that would play when you had? Because back in those days, they had orchestras in the house with us and stuff.
Absolutely.
What was your song? Was it that, one of those songs that they opened the floor together, her and her husband? Curious about that,
And you guys wanted a
Wasn't
scary
a lot
tour.
of-
This is what I actually go after. So I'm applauding you right now in my brain going, this is what I want. I want people to learn more about these people's lives.
Yeah.
So the fact that I'm giving you I'm like half and half about the death and about
Okay,
the fire and that kind of
Eliza.
thing. But she went straight after, what did you do to pass the time before you
Yeah.
started your indigo crops?
That's pretty cool.
Did
she
you?
was a
Did you
botanist.
sew? Did you?
What?
She wrote.
Poem?
Look at that.
Oh.
She probably wrote.
And again, that letter book, you guys, every time we have something that's relevant, obviously I'll give you the backlink. We also, you missed out, Joyce, but we did have the word horses show up here. And we had the
Horses.
word blue show up over there.
Over
So it's
there,
almost
yeah.
like they were reversed.
Yeah.
So again, we're
Yeah.
still close to Big John's, one block that way. Obviously the Big Red Barn.
Oh, she liked to read.
She liked to
Read
read.
poems. She
Okay.
read
Read
poems.
poetry.
You could
Thank you, Eliza. I
Thank you.
asked you,
Yeah.
and you answered. Thank you very much.
This is
I
exactly
appreciate
what I
it. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
And it's very, very interesting. Now
Wow.
I'm going to be
Yeah.
diving into what her love of poetry actually was. And now I'm going to learn something new about the Pinckney family, which is something I can
okay.
obviously add to the tours in the future.
So she wanted to be precise, not that she wrote poems or rather that
She read
Read it.
poetry. Wow.
So,
Yeah.
and again,
That's
with the
wonderful.
recording during this timestamp, I will definitely be listening for other things that are related to leisurely things to pass the time. I know for a fact that she was into botany, which is why Dad used to send her different seeds all the time.
Well, we're standing in her
This.
garden.
I mean, we're literally standing in the garden, literally. Right where I was at. I've almost, not to a point where I brought out the...
I wonder what her favorite
Eliza.
flower was.
Oh, yeah.
That pops up all the
Eliza,
time, too.
mine is gardenia. What was yours?
actor.
What?
Actor?
Actor.
Did she have a favorite? Because, people, those were road shows back in the day. They didn't have many theaters.
And we're going to talk about theater later on.
But it's funny how you posed that question and there are like words coming around that.
Thank you, Eliza. This is really helping,
The
and I
flower that
appreciate
normally
it.
comes up is jasmine.
Jasmine?
Because of
that's
the
so-
scent.
Oh, that's so, yeah.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
And I've had it multiple times, just like the color
Yeah.
purple.
Jasmine.
So, again,
That's
it's stuff that I can't
beautiful.
prove
Yeah, it was like
of what her
3.5.
favorite stuff are.
3.5.
Yeah, 2.8, 4.2.
Eliza, I hope you're having
Oh,
fun
it
with
went up all
this
the way
and
8 point something,
interacting
8.2.
because you're interested.
Yeah.
Because we're interested.
Beats out the last one you had.
Yeah. Well, it was 0.0 for the longest
Thank you,
time.
Eliza.
It's spiked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, the highest it went was like 8.2.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I wonder what her wedding anniversary was. You know,
Like the
When I was
day?
actually getting ready
April
to...
or
Oh, a month?
June or
So,
yeah.
She
Was
was
she
only
a-
married for 14 years due to Charles's death, and yes, she remained a widow. So she never married again.
like Queen
Again,
Victoria.
all
Now
different-
she's the one that married for love.
Yeah.
Yes, Queen Victoria.
Yeah.
Her Albert, she never married after he died.
Yeah.
I know. It's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So from here, we are going to walk up to Lodge Alley. You can actually shut your video off because we're going to be walking a few blocks. Definitely pay attention to your spirit box, even if you want to listen to the one. If not, I'll listen to this portion in the morning. What I'm looking for here are the names, and I'll explain what the names are once we get up to Lodge Alley. I kind of like to do a... So it's telling me the coldest spot here is around 82 degrees. The highest, which is going to be her foot because it's bare, it's about 94.
Hot feet.
Hot feet. There you go, dear. Try to keep the camera on your left, because that way YouTube doesn't like the flippies and I can't fix it. Alright, so let's definitely get your REM pod going again. So antenna up, weight button out. You can turn your spirit box. Oh yeah, we could turn it up here for sure. Let's go check out the front of the building. And then we're going to actually come back over here and probably do another spirit box session. But Joyce was super interested in seeing the front. So,
I mean, the building is so weird. Right? It looks like, you know those things that you did in high school? Those paper files? I like you, you like me, you know, the
oh yeah.
the ones that folded?
Yeah,
Oh
the
yes,
Foursquare-
yes.
Yes,
Okay.
looks like that to me.
We called those Foursquare boxes.
Forgot what it
I
was.
was like, what the hell
The
is
reason
that?
why the roof is like that is it's actually called a groin vaulted ceiling. So inside there's 8 pillars, which is where all of the cone of the roof come up, and they're all joined in the center. So it looks like a groin, and it's all like
Wow, I gotta
handmade
check
brick.
this out.
It's gorgeous inside. I'm telling you.
Why did someone stick a...
These are apartments back here. There was actually a pathway because the building.
Why
on
is
the
there an
far
air
end,
conditioner in the way?
There's a pathway right there that
Oh.
goes into it. So it actually is connected to this building. I'm not sure if it still is or not, but it used to be because you could see the roof. Do you see where the bricks are different, or it looks
Yeah.
like a cone roof right there? So this was like a mercantile, a textile, all those different types of businesses, offices, in between the wars that it served. And then they eventually turned it into this, you know, obviously rectangular building we have now, and turned it into apartments. So these people are living. They probably have no idea what they got going on.
Wow,
That's the crazy.
that's what we need. Well, yeah, a lot. We were in St. Augustine, and there were things like that that were just fascinating.
I'm actually going
The
there in 2
jails.
weeks.
Don't miss the jail tour.
Well, I'm leading an investigation at the Lighthouse with 2 other podcasts. So I have a team of like 30 people.
Don't miss the jail tour.
I don't want to, so I'm hoping not to. But the wife
Don't.
says only so many days goes.
No.
So many days.
She'll
romance.
like it too, but it's a little unnerving because they have inside the jail mannequins and people dressed, you know, mannequins dressed up as prisoners that are lifelike in there, posed sleeping, and you can step into the cells and close the door.
Well, we'll see what I get.
I got something. I got a little like weirded out. So thank you, gentlemen.
But I'll take
Goodbye.
all my tools in there and see what I get out of it.
And so far the highest it's been is 1.1.
And that's because of the parking meters.
Yeah.
So
Look at
any
this, the
words on
Powder
your end?
magazine.
Tide.
Watery term. Light, vague.
Look at this.
Big. What?
The sign on the side of the thing.
Oh, revolutionary. Yeah.
And then someone who obviously doesn't like sunlight.
It's an odd-shaped building.
I'm telling you, it looks like that thing that we made in school. But then there's somebody living in there because look,
No, that's a whole different house.
that's
That's the
building.
Nicholas
that's
Trot
the house. Oh,
I'll
okay.
tell you about that when we go back to the
It
house.
just looks like this.
It's not the same age though.
It definitely doesn't look it.
That's actually a pretty
No.
small house over there.
Oh, it's in between the buildings.
Yeah, then
now.
look, it's in
Oh, that's
between
so
the
weird.
buildings.
Yep.
It's got to be one room wide.
Yeah, it's a pillory. Guillotine chops. That just holds.
I'm telling you,
That
there's
just said
something.
powder.
Yes.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I heard it clear as day.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get it. Well, I want to get us back over to the side lot here.
3.4, but again.
These will go all the way up to 5.5.
somebody doesn't like sunlight. They covered their windows with tinfoil.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? That's weird. A lot of history down here. Mixed in with these new...
Heavy history.
Yeah.
Complicated history. Drama. A lot of drama.
Okay, well, we need to get back to East Bay Street so we can go with them.
Okay.
I said we got to get back to East Bay so we can drive home.
Yeah.
Fascinating, though. Look at that steeple on that.
Yeah.
Wild.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
We can go in, right?
I know. So knock on the door and say, hey, let me in.
What do you want to spot tea?
Sanctuary.
Yeah, it's just the spike tower, the tower, just to see the church.
Do you guys smell powder?
You know, earlier
I smell
can't
it.
smell anything.
I
with
smell-
my sinuses.
I smell powder right here.
Earlier, there was a word that came up: sanctuary. Sanctuary.
What's on there now?
Decade.
Let's go around the corner. This tour is probably going to stop right in front, so we'll kind of tell you more about that Nicholas Trot house. That's an interesting place.
But I smell powder.
Yeah.
You smell powder?
Yep, I smell powder.
I do smell something like fireworks.
Yeah, that's gunpowder.
Yeah.
Let's see where it goes.
Chicken.
Chicken? Oh my God, chicken.
Interesting thing is, my name will show up here often because of that.
Careful the ants.
That house is called the Nicholas Trot House
Oh.
because he was the first Chief Justice of the United States. So he stayed there for a short time. They claim that he lived there. He only stayed there because the house was trying to buy.
Uy, coño.
Baxter Theater has enough history of its own that they didn't want to take away from it, so they named the place he rented for the short period of time after what his name was, just to have something named after him. So again, somebody bought it, thinking it was this big historical piece of land, when it's really not. The interesting thing, if you go to Dock Street Theater, there's an elevator in the back, like by the courtyard. That's where the judge's privy was. So when you're riding in the elevator, you're riding in his shitter. That's what it's meant to be. It's meant to be funny.
Yeah, that's funny.
But again, that's where that place used to be a house. So in between Planners Hotel and turning it into Dock Street Theater, is the house.
Wow. This has been like 2.0, 2.1. Anything yours?
Suckers.
I'm getting lots of reds and blues, but no black.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for Phillips. This lot belongs to St. Philip's Church. It doesn't
I
belong
want
the
to see the
property.
church. That's I want to see the church. It's beautiful.
So we also have you could visit a million churches down here. They're all gorgeous. Circular Church is 1 block away, right next to the
Sacrilege.
Nicholas
The word
Trot House.
sacrilege.
You go 1 block up, and that's
Comes
where
up.
Sacrilege.
the other tours will actually walk you through the cemetery in the back.
I wonder
get much
why.
activity in there. I've been trying to, because I always twist this up a little bit every couple of months, just because I do get repeat people coming through. And I've been trying to look for it. Like maybe I should actually try next time at this Circular Church Cemetery. I took a few guests up there.
Nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Wow.
So,
Well, like you said, people normally don't come out there.
right. It just proved my point to them specific groups. And they're like, yeah, Nick, nothing's happening here. And I had a Pinckney buried in there. It was actually the son of the nephew of Eliza. So her nephew named Charles. His son is buried in there, Henry Lawrence.
Oh.
He actually had a newspaper called the York. So I thought maybe I'll get something based on him.
Yeah, nothing.
I went there for 4 or 5 nights in a row. I'm like, okay, because I'm not going to be having this to this.
No.
So again, I always twist it up a little bit. Because I do got my regulars coming back in October.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
So even after 2 years, I'm seeing right names.
That's good though.
Yeah, I'm recognizing the names because when I save all your guys' names and send you the text messages, and she didn't answer.
Yeah, because she's not here.
But I put your name is like in the phone. It's like Lisa 82921. So I know when you took your tour. So when you text me, I can go straight to your data. I'm like, oh, they did this because we had something going on with the doctor.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they got
yeah.
impressed by that. So
Jake.
I always like to see what your previous tour was.
Jake.
Jake?
Does the name Jake ring a bell?
Jake. No, but Jack knows. I need Jack, not Jake. Maybe her Irish accent is off.
Shock.
We actually had the word Irish and young show up here last night the minute we walked in. So young Irish girl. Made complete sense.
Yeah, it's so unusual for that time for a woman to do that.
Well, reading about her life and why she was going after piracy so bad, because I mean, women were basically what's going on in Afghanistan now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they were thought of that way.
Yeah.
They've come a long way. So she was just trying to be free and have a kick-ass life.
Yeah.
Well, sugar came up here last night too. Sugar cane was a major cash crop in Jamaica.
Yeah.
So it's more than likely the pirates were hustling sugar cane. Alright, let me take a look at that word list. And then we might have to call it a night, ladies.
Sure.
Because I'm not really hearing much out of you unless something else comes up. Chicken? You didn't tell me chicken came up.
Yeah, I did say it.
She said it over there.
Yeah.
It's
The
a joke
chicken.
because there's nothing related.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Chicken. Yeah, because when it came up chicken, well, I mean, they probably served the troops chicken. That's funny.
We got the word elect. So when did elect show up? I see believe him was when I was telling the story over there. And it's about 4 minutes before that. Were we still here? They used to elect their captains. They actually had a democracy on the ships. So if they didn't want that captain to be captain anymore, they just elected a new one. Like, as a group. It was a vote.
Right. Like really.
Pretty much. Not to mention that most of the pirates that you, well, I guess don't hear about were African American. They actually.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely don't know.
So with that said, they used to basically take over the ships that were coming over to the Americas, and most of them were hauling slaves. So when they captured them, it was you have a choice. You can become a pirate and hang out with us, or you can go to the Americas and be a slave. Obviously, you're going to take that.
I'll take a pirate.
Yeah,
I'll be a pirate.
just give me a damn sword. I'll be good.
Yeah.
So
That's sad.
it is, but true. They were good. They got their freedom.
Yeah.
They got to be part of the democracy and vote for the captains and make decisions as a crew. I mean, to them, that probably would have been a lifelong dream.
Yeah.
So, of course, the British hung them all,
As they do.
as they do.
Damn British.
I know, right?
Those lines.
I'll tell you, bloody hell. Uh-huh. Yeah, because we're sitting with one.
I know. That's why I'm saying.
I know.
Feather.
Feather.
I'm going to start collecting devices. You guys can ask me a million questions as I take them from you.
Just bring us back to Bay Street because that's where my
I
car
can
is.
do that.
Because right now, I couldn't tell you where Bay Street was if I had a bayonet in my back.
Make it nice and easy. We're going to go straight down. My
Yeah,
garage
you have
is this
the
way
phone.
anyway, and you're going to be right next to East
Ooh.
Bay
All
Street.
around.
Of course, that goes off now, right? Otherwise, you
No,
guys
I was
don't have
just turning.
So an hour and 50 minutes of regular audio, that's going to give you about 4 to 4.5 hours of things to watch and listen, not to mention all of the reading I'm going to get you guys to do. So,
Here you go,
gotta
Belinda.
verify
Give this
stuff.
to